Hey there, you're watching the Jessa channel on YouTube. I'm Jessa, and this is Minecraft, specifically RLCraft, a mod pack which is very popular right now and I've enjoyed very much. But what if you want to play this pack, but you've never played Minecraft before? Don't worry, I'm here to help you out. A lot of the RLCraft guides out there, some of which are very good, do I tend to think neglect the very basics. Things like, what does all this mean right here? How do I see my character in third person? How do I change my keybinds? How do I walk, jump, sprint, run, all of that. So let's get started by first looking at the user interface. Captain Jessicans here is just below her is the user interface. On the right hand side of that user interface is a thirst bar, blue droplets of water. That's from RLCraft. Below that is your hunger bar. Those yummy looking chicken legs are from vanilla Minecraft. Below that is your leveling bar. That's from RLCraft. On the left hand side is your health bar. Those hearts, that's from vanilla Minecraft. You can also see in the middle is a circle which is currently blue. That's your temperature gauge for your body, whether you are hot or cold or fair to middling. Because we are standing outside in the rain, we're a little chilly. The number below that actually confused me. I thought it had something to do with my temperature. In fact, it is related to the bar just below it, showing that we currently have 9 levels. When you first start playing, you'll start out with no levels and very quickly get to 5. Then you can spend those points leveling up and building skills. This is the leveling up screen. It will look slightly different for you. You'll have 3 buttons, one for mining, one for crafting, one for combat. Choosing one of those buttons will allow you to get more experience for doing those particular things. I have chosen to have an experience gain for combat, but we'll worry about that in another episode. You can see I'm getting quite chilly, and that it might be hard to tell, but there is a overlay on the screen. You can see it up where the sky is. That means I'm getting pretty chilly. You'll also see and it's got a somewhat blue tint. You'll also see the same overlay if you get really hot. You get hot from where you are in the different biomes, from being in the desert, for example. You'll get very cold in snowy and tundra. And if you get too hot or too cold, you'll get a debuff, which shows up in the top left corner. There we go. Top left corner. And you'll take damage. Of course, if you get too hot or too cold, you'll die. When you first start in vanilla Minecraft, you will not see this view. You will be in first person view. In order to change views, the key for that is F5. You can press it again to get to this forward view. Press it again to get to first person. Movement in this game is W, A, S, and D. Moving forward, backwards, side to side. Running, let's get to this side of the ship. Running is either, or I should say, it's called sprinting, is either to double tap the W or press down the W and the left control key. Whoops, that was wrong. I just jumped ahead in the tutorial. That's sprinting. Sprinting takes a lot of energy, and therefore you'll get hungry quicker. It's getting kind of chilly and cold outside and monsters are about. You may have heard a zombie who's floating somewhere in the depths, having had to walk the plank for Davy Jones' locker up here. To Davy Jones' locker with ya! So let's go inside our cozy cabin and finish the tutorial. The next thing to note is the keybinds. This will be confusing at first because a lot of the keybinds for the different mods included in RLCraft will actually conflict with each other. Or you won't remember how to see some of the important screens you've seen before, such as the skills screen, the health screen, and this leveling screen are all from RLCraft. The way to check your keybinds and change those conflicts, press the escape key, go to Options, go to Controls. Scrolling down, you will see that you have these different keybinds here. However, and I have gone through and set some of these to none, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. These are all the vanilla options for keybinds. But the mods that RLCraft come with have, for example, First Aid, have their own keybinds that come with the mod. You can change those keybinds in here. For example, I have changed the skill keybind for the skill tree that I just showed you to K. If you want to set it back to default, press the reset button. If you'd like to set it to none, so it does not conflict with another mod, for example, or you're not sure what key you'd like it to be for now, so you just want to turn it off, so you don't accidentally hit the key and set the mod up or open that menu, you can press the escape button. Now it is set to none. The keybinds that I recommend that you either memorize quickly or set to something that you'll remember are 3. One, is the First Aid mod. I've set that, the default is H, and I'm keeping it on H. The skill, GUI, is Y. I prefer it to be K, so I'll set it as such. I like the skill bars, the level key and the skill key to be right next to each other. The third one I recommend, making sure you either know or change to a keybind that you'll remember, is Level Up GUI. That's the one that I just showed you where you can choose to focus on mining or combat, etc. Minecraft is an incredibly creative game, and some of its creativity, particularly with the RLCraft, comes from what you can make in the game. However, if you don't know how to craft, you're not going to survive very long out on the frozen tundra. Well, you probably wouldn't survive very long anyway, even if you did know how to craft. But here's how you do so. By default, the crafting, the inventory button is the E key. This section over here, this button, this whole menu here, is vanilla Minecraft. This button, the bestiary button, this section on the right, and this section on the left, is from RLCraft. This will help you with the very early stages of getting a weapon, something to cut down trees with, something to defend yourself with, something to kill animals so that you can get something to eat and survive. Mini RLCraft, and I will link in the description a good one that I recommend by Noob Force, will show you how to make a flint knife. However, if you'd also just like to find out the recipe on your own, this is how you do it. There are 76 pages to scroll through, so there's a search button. Pressing Control F will focus it. Type in Flint. You could also type in knife. That one gives you a few more different options there, all the different types of knives, I should say. Holding your mouse cursor over the knife will tell you its specs. It's how much damage, how quickly you can attack with it, how much damage you do with a full attack. It will tell you colors that it comes in or can be created in based upon what materials you use to create it, I think. Let me know in the descriptions of the comments below if I'm incorrect on that. When you hold down the shift button, some things will give you more information. It will tell you, for more information on this item, hold down the shift button. To see how to craft it, left click on it. If you right click on it, for weapons, you'll get what enchantments you can do. We won't be covering that in this video. For other items, such as materials, if you right click on those, it will tell you what you can make with that material. A flint and an iron ingot will make flint and steel for starting your fires. If you say, that's great, but how do I make an iron ingot? You can click on it, and there it will show you the base recipes for making that. I will now right click on the iron ingot to see all the recipes that include the iron ingot. There's 101 recipes. You don't want to sit there and click this arrow all that time, so use your middle mouse button scroll wheel to go through all the recipes of all the different things that you can make with an iron ingot. Going back to the flint knife, you'll see here that you need flint shard and you need sticks. To make a flint shard, there are many videos on that already. So I will link my favorite down in the description and in the comments below. Basically, you will mine for flint, meaning that you will break apart blocks for flint. And then you will break the flint onto rock surfaces. That's basically it. For sticks, you can simply punch them out of trees. That's really the first step. That Minecraft video down below by Noob Force, thanks Noob Force for that video, will show you more of the how to survive the first day. This video is focused on people who have never played Minecraft before, who just want to understand the very simple basics that so many people skip. In order to go back in the crafting menu, press the back key. And that will take you to the previous area that you were looking at. Press the escape key to close it. Finally, over here is your favorites menu. Let's say that you really want to make, and I've already done this, but I'll undo it here. You really want to know how to make recipes. Minecraft has got hundreds of recipes in the vanilla, and goodness knows how many more in RLCraft. And trying to remember them all when you are first learning the game is pretty intimidating. This step will help you. Hovering your mouse over the flint knife, you can press the A key. Note, if you type in flint here, you see your flint knife and you say, I want to remember that recipe. If you press the A key now, you'll just get the an A inside the search box. To get out of the search box, click anywhere outside of the search box. The cursor is gone. You can now hover over the item, press A, and you can see that it shows up in your favorites. There are, as I said, hundreds of recipes in here. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And there's so many that, especially for things where you might make arrows, things like that, you want to have those memorized. So definitely use the favorites key to save things over here. That functionality is from just enough items, the inventory mod here. One other thing to note is the 3 buttons right here. These are your inventory settings. This is from RLCraft. This is a mod called Inventory Tweaks, which is included in the RLCraft pack. I recommend turning on Repair Friendly Refill because you will see that your flint knife degrades pretty quickly and will eventually break. Therefore, if you make 2 or even 3, it will automatically pop the knife into your hotbar when the previous one breaks. Very good when you're starting out before you learn how to repair weapons. Now it's time to get to crafting. Once you have your flint shards and your sticks, you'll want to combine them into a flint knife. Once again, you can do that by just clicking here on the knife to find out what the recipe is. Left click and you'll see the recipe here. Important to note, when crafting, you can craft in 2 ways. Within your inventory, for example, in your hands. Because your hands are pretty small, comparative to a crafting table, you can only craft things that are 4 by 4 squares. Items or recipes that only have 4 items within is the easiest way to do that. This 3 by 3 grid is for the crafting table. You don't have that yet, but that's okay because you only need 2 areas. So this 4 areas here are for your hand. This 9 areas here are for the crafting table. The simple way is to simply press the button and it will move the items to your crafting grid, what you can make with your hands in 1 click. You have 1 flint shard and 1 flint knife. But if you want to make more than 1 flint shard, you can do it one at a time, like this, and then add in another one here. If you put left click, it will put all of them in here. If you right click, it will simply put 1. You can do it this way. Or if you want to make more than 1 knife at a time, you can put all of the items that you want to use to make your knives. We have 7 flint shards, so we can make 7 knives. We have 13 sticks, so we'll have some sticks left over. If you grab the knife here, it will make it one at a time. Very tedious. Hold down the shift key and you got all your knives at once. And a cool sound effect to boot. A little inventory sorting tip that I like to do is I like to stack my weapons on top of each other. This lets me know that I have some extras should I run out. The next time I drink water and this becomes empty, the next one in line will automatically refill it, provided that you have auto refill on. You might be wondering why I do not have auto refill on, and it's because that particular setting conflicts with the mod that I like to use called Empty Hand. But if you don't have that mod, which is not included in RLCraft, it's a mod that I got personally to make getting to an empty hand a little bit easier, then the auto refill works fine with the standard RLCraft. Now we're going to go down below and I'll show you how to make wood planks. Look out below! Once you have your flint knife, you'll be able to start cutting down trees. Using your flint knife to chop, like so, using your left mouse button, you'll be able to chop down the tree, which will give you blocks of wood. Once you have your wood blocks, after having cut down that tree with your flint knife, you're going to have a number of blocks in your inventory or hotbar. Place the block in the world by pressing the right mouse button. For this, you will need a stone, an axe. I don't believe a flint knife will do it. You know how to make an axe now because I've already shown you how to find recipes in the inventory section. Once you have crafted yourself a stone axe, right-click on the top, not the sides, the top of the wood block with your stone axe. A couple of hits and you should have yourself some planks, which just popped up. One thing I should show you is when you want to pick up items in vanilla Minecraft, if you've played even a little bit, although this is for people who've never played it before. But just so you know, if you go and decide to play vanilla Minecraft without the mod pack, with normal items, something on the floor, for example, if you want to pick it up, you just walk over it. However, RLCraft is all about making life harder and more fun. Therefore, in order to pick something up, you can either right mouse click on it or crouch if you want to pick up a lot of things and sort of hoover it up by walking over it like that. The key to throw things that are in your hand is Q. Pick them up with the right mouse button. Now that you have those planks in your inventory, they look like this. You can now get to building many more things in the game. So if something calls for oak wood planks, like these are all the things that you can make with oak wood planks, including the next very important essential, a bed. That is how you do it. You want to cut down a tree, turn the blocks of the tree into wood planks, then gather wool. Wool can be used, let me grab wool here, here we go. So wool can be used, you can just use white wool. You don't need to worry about making it any particular color. Here's white wool here. You can make white wool using plant string or plain string. It basically accepts any string. So the way to make your bed is to gather plant string. Use your flint knife on grass. In fact, why don't we go outside and I'll show you. Here's some handy grass. You can tell that it's selected because there's a block sort of outline over the grass. Everything in Minecraft is consisted of blocks. This is one block, a grass block. Left clicking on the grass will go woo and give you right here, that is some grass seeds so that you can replant grass and be a good environmentalist, or you can get this grass string here. If you try and pick something up and you can't do it, check and see if there's something in your hand. Sometimes you need an empty hand to pick things up. The way to get an empty hand is to use the F key by default, the letter F, to switch the item in your right hand to your left hand. It also means that you can dual wield, you can carry a torch and fight at the same time, and whatever else you can think of that can be in this hand, for example. Now that you have an empty hand, you can right click on that and get seeds, and you'll see that pop up. And then when I have seeds, it's not going to allow me to pick it up, so it's a little bit tedious. So I'll just drop the seeds because we want to pick up this plant fiber. This plant fiber here, when we click on it in our inventory, right here, we can see, we can just put in fiber, for example, and it'll show us plant fiber. And once again, you can right click on it to see the things that you can make with it. Looks like we need 3 plant fibers to get 1 string. So after you've gone through and gotten your grass and you have enough string, You can then use the recipes to make the wool. Then you can sleep in your bed. That is the most important tip if you want to stay where you currently spawned when you first came in to the new RLCraft world. If you got into a place, an area you don't like, let's say frozen tundra and you're freezing, or the high desert and you're burning up, do not make a bed yet. Simply suicide yourself or go do some battles with your Flint Knife with the enemies nearby, of which there will be, because RLCraft is, well, it's kind of mean. Fun, but mean. And once you die, you'll spawn again somewhere else. So you could actually just keep dying until you spawn in a place that you like. You know. So you will spawn within, I believe, 1,000 blocks from your current death location. Once you've found the area that you'd like to be in, that hopefully has water, essential, plants and trees, essential, and animals, cows, sheep, pigs, that kind of stuff, then you can start to set up shop, as it were. Remember, step 1. Make a Flint Knife using the recipes. Mine using your empty hand, hitting a block. Mine stone for flint. There's more information on that in the description below. The Noob Force video will show you how to do that step by step. Once you have flint, then go and get sticks by just simply punching them off of the trees. Next, make a Flint Knife. Next, cut some grass. Next, make string. Next, make wool. After that, with your Flint Knife, cut down trees. From the trees, make wood planks by using your Flint Knife on the top of the wood block, using the right mouse button. From there, you should be able to make a bed. Speaking of which, it's getting dark out. Let's run inside before we get eaten by monsters. Anyway, the last thing to show you is how to drink. Drinking is a mechanic from RLCraft. This is the option for opening chests. Chests is an early recipe and something that you'll want to create very soon. After you make a crafting table using your planks. A furnace is also recommended after you make your crafting table using cobblestones. Cobblestones is a recipe in which you take rock of any types there and combine them together into cobblestone. Rocks are all over the world, just on the ground, in the RLCraft world and the RLCraft mod pack. Once you have a crafting table together from making 4 planks, you can then make some more advanced things. From that, you'll be able to make a chest. And a chest will allow you to keep your very, very ill-gotten gains. Your hard work. Because when you die in RLCraft, you drop everything at the place that you spawned. If you do not have a bed, you will then spawn over 1,000 meters away in any direction, and it would be practically impossible to find your things again. However, if you can get a chest made fairly quickly, you can then put your very important stuff inside the chest. The RL mod pack comes with this ability to do sorting, and you can just sort things. I'll just move some things around to show you here, and then I will break up this there like that and put that down there, just right clicking. And then if you press the default sorting, everything will be put into neat piles in a neat order, like so. Over here, you can default sort by columns, and the sorting will stay when you open the chest next time, by rows. And this is the same inventory and chest settings I showed you earlier in the video. So you've been out adventuring for a while. You're feeling pretty peckish and kind of thirsty. So here are the basics if you've never played Minecraft before and you're in RLCraft and you want to have a little something to drink and a little something to eat. Here's how you do it. I'm going to use this pool of water in our pirate ship, but any water block, any river, ocean, just water will do the trick. You want to have an empty hand. I use the empty hand mod because my hotbar is completely full. That mod will be listed in the description below. It is not part of RLCraft. To make an empty hand, because when you need to do things in this mod, it can sometimes be frustrating to do this and not wonder why anything's working, going like this, not knowing what's going on. The directions say that you need to crouch and then use right click, but nothing really happens. The reason why is because you have something in your hand, namely, in this case, a water bottle or an atlas or a torch. So I am using the empty hand mod to quickly give me an empty hand. I'm going to go back to my main weapon here. Click out, and there, I have an empty hand. I'm pretty thirsty, so let's drink. Holding the shift key, left shift, that means you are now sneaking or crouching. Use the right mouse button, and that will sort of scoop the water up into your mouth. However, you can notice that I now have a debuff. Boo. Because that water was unclean filth. Most of the water around the world is unclean. You need to purify it first. There are a number of ways to do that, and a lot of other mods, a lot of other guides, I should say, have already touched on that. But essentially, what you want to do is cook it in your furnace right here. And you already know how to make a furnace because you have been watching this tutorial. Looking in the inventory and searching for water will give you the recipe for purified water. You can also drink from your hand directly. Here's a purified water bottle in my hand. The way to use things in your hand, to drink them, to eat them, to put on bandages, for example, is to hold the right mouse button. Yummy. Nothing like a little bit of cool, sparkling mountain stream water. But sadly, we're also hungry, and we also now have an empty bottle in our inventory. Now, I have a handy food chest. You just starting out in RLCraft will not have any such thing, and you will have to go out, get your food, like kill a sheep or kill a pig, cook it in your furnace. I believe, to be honest, I'm not sure about that, but you'll need to cook it. There is a campfire that comes with this mod, so search in the inventory for it. But in any case, once you have your food, you can go on ahead and right click on any chest. Turkey. I'm going to just put this in my main hand here and do the same thing. Make sure that your cursor is not over something that is usable, like a chest. Because if you, that's a server restart there. Because if you right click here, you won't eat your food, you will instead open the chest. So, to clarify, let's go back over to the controls. To attack or destroy, meaning to use your weapon or to cut down a tree or to interact in any way with something that's in your hand, left click. But to interact with it, such as use the item or place a block on the ground, you right mouse click. If I did this, that opens the chest. But if I turn this way, I will now use what's in my hand to have a tasty and delicious dinner. That's good eating. Anyway, and then I'm going to use the key for the empty hand mod to put my spear back in, and boom, I'm ready to party. So there you go. The very, very basics of surviving in RLCraft if you've never played Minecraft before. If you'd like to see some more guides on Minecraft, let me know, and I might be able to make them for you. But just remember, until a few days back, about a week or two ago, I had never played Minecraft before. So that's why I made this guide, because I had a lot of questions about the very simple basics that most people forget to tell you in their guides. Hopefully, this will help you out. If you want to see more Minecraft gameplay, you can join me here on the Jessa channel by subscribing, or you can also click the link below to join us for live streams on the Jessa channel live. Thank you, as always, for watching.